half y equals 3 times the cosine of 1/2 x. So we start by identifying the amplitude. Amplitude is that a value in front of the cosine. So our amplitude is 3. Next we find the period. Period follows the formula 2 pi over b, and our b value is whatever number is right in front of the x. So our b value is 1/2. So 2 pi divided by 1/2. What we want to remember here is that we don't ever divide by fractions. Instead, we'll do 2 pi over 1 times 2 over 1, which actually gives us a period of 4 pi. So the next thing we want to remember is what the cosine curve looks like. Cosine is the one that dips down and then comes back up, and it has the x-axis running through the middle of it like that. So cosine, does it go through 0 or 1? It goes through 1 unless we have an amplitude of a different number. So I know that instead of putting a point on 1, I'm going to start up here at 3. So up here is that point, and this is at 0. Now because the period is 4 pi, I'm going to go 4 pi, and that's where the next point is going to go. Now the only problem with that is I look at my graph and I see that I can't fit this whole curve on the right side of my graph where I'm used to graphing. So let me just kind of look at this and see what we can fit. I know that halfway, this point right here, is 2 pi, and I have a 2 pi on my graph. So I actually can get this point on the graph. Remembering that the amplitude is 3, I know I'm going to be 3 above and 3 below the x-axis. So if I go over to 2 pi and then go down to a -3, that actually is that lowest point right there. The next point I can do is halfway in between those is where we cross the x-axis. So halfway between 0 and 2 pi is pi, which is right there. So if I fill this in, or draw that curve in, what I actually am finding is this part of the graph. I've done that side. Now if we remember that these curves do continue forever, and I look and I see that I have a left half of my graph left that I can use, I'm going to go ahead and finish the curve that way. So I know that between 0 and this -2 pi, I'm going to have, that's where we're going to be down here at the -3. Halfway in between is when we hit 0, and now I have one cycle of this graph, y equals 3 cosine 1/2 x. So the 3 made the graph taller, the 1/2 stretched it out. It will take 4 pi to fit in one whole cycle.